All right, so there's been a question about what the hell to do. Well, you didn't actually say what the hell, but what the heck, or what do I do with the shoulders and the hand position in the transitions from either puppy to half plank to prone position, or same can be said from down dog to plank to prone position, lying on our fronts. And this has given me the brilliant opportunity to discuss one of my favorite stolen expressions from one of my favorite teachers, Richard Freeman, who talks about the demonic shoulder loop, which is when the shoulder comes into like this flexion type situation, which, you know, might be fashionable if you're like a model. I don't even know, the kids still do that, you know, right? So a lot of you have heard me do this talk before because it's so important. I repeat myself enough. So the demonic shoulder loop happens when we are lowering down from like a plank or half plank down. So I'd love for you to all do it for a moment without any load, which means we'll do it in the air. All right, so draw your shoulder blades together slightly, engage your abdomen, and this will sort of simulate us being in a plank position. And we take our hands down, so our hands won't be in line with the shoulders, but they'll be further back, right? They'll be further back. So you're pushing away something away from your chest. So then we're going to bend the elbows and keep the shoulders back. Keep the heads of the arm bones plugged into their sockets. Feel your shoulder blades drop together as you bend. And you can do this a couple of times just to get that imprint in the body of the desired action, right? So as the elbows move back, you're like, you could break a walnut between the shoulder blades. What we're not doing, and then, you know, I don't like to do what not to do. I actually injured myself once demonstrating this, the demonic shoulder loop, is this, right? And I'll demonstrate it with some weight, right? So the demonic shoulder loop in your Chaturanga or half plank is kind of where the butt sticks up and then the shoulders drop like this. Oh, right? This is terrible. And it's one of the main reasons I never, have you ever, in the last 5 years, unless we were doing a teacher training exploring the Shivananda Northern Indian Sun Salutations, seen me do knees, chest, chin, right? Yeah, no, we don't, because look at what's happening in my shoulders, right? It's the demonic shoulder loop from hell, right? So it's fine to do when we're not bearing half our body's weight on our shoulder joints, but when we're doing it a lot, which we do if you're doing yoga on a daily or, you know, a few times a week, we're doing, you know, a bunch of them every day. So doing anything once or twice, you know, is okay. I've tried cocaine once. It's not a big deal. More than once, actually. But, you know, it was the early 90s in London. What can I say? But if you're doing something repetitively, right, there starts to be some wear and tear. Even if it's, you know, kissing your beloved, you know, if you do it all the time, and do it the same way, you know, it starts to get a little dull. Same with our joints. So what's our options here? Well, we come into the pose, the pre-pose, pre-aligned. So I am quite determined that I'm not going to let my shoulders drop, which means I'm going to activate my posterior chain, the upper back. And then the other thing is, parenthesis, what to do with the head. The head tends to hang because it weighs, you know, 10 to 12 pounds or 5 or 6 kilos. Instead, we lead with the heart, but we want to see where we're going. So we want to think of pressing the skull back into an imaginary extra hand, like we've done in some of our neck freedom classes and workshops. So pressing the skull back, not letting the chin poke forward, right? You want to think neutral. Neutral's fine. And then I'm dipping the chest forward, and I'm shifting the weight forward. So I'm neither hanging back, nor am I projecting and collapsing forward. So again, the happy medium, shoulders back for as long as you possibly can. And then, yeah, there might be a little bit of a collapse towards the end, and otherwise it takes time, right? So that's not a big deal. But we are, with every exhalation in our Sun Salutation, working that shoulder loop. Elbows are slightly away from the chest. And everything will be okay either way, right? So, but to keep the integrity through the shoulder joint, you know, same works with Chaturanga. Right? I'm gonna grab a block and demonstrate the same action in Chatturanga Dandasana, the four-limb staff pose, which is an option in many of my classes. We don't do a whole bunch of them. Once upon a time when I was an Ashtanga practitioner, I used to do 72 of them a day, 6 days a week for 8 years. That's about 400,000 or something ridiculous like that. So I feel absolved that I don't have to do a lot of them anymore. But if you want to do them, don't do what another teacher calls them, don't do them in a way that's called a shoulder shredder, right? So let's see, it's been ages since I've been discussing these things. All right, so here's the Chaturanga Dandasana, right? The elbows are bent, shoulders are back. What I'm not doing is, wah, yeah? This is the shoulder shredder, right? So what to do instead, right, is you can lower just a bit. You don't, oh, I'll show you the shoulder shredder in real time, just for fun. Feeling a bit frisky today. Ooh. Right? That's the shoulder shredder. I'm not gonna do that again. What to do instead? If you are like, okay, I don't have the strength to keep the integrity through the shoulder joint, which means shoulder blade on the rib cage in the back body, head of the arm bone back, armpits smiling, elbows away from the torso. Well, you don't have to lower all the way down, right? If you're working with up dog, you lower a bit. You can micro bend the elbows, that's stage one, shall we say, and then doop, up dog, happy doggy, and then down dog. Or you lower all the way down, let the pelvis come down, shoulders stay back, right? In general, I'm a fan of knees down. This gives me control. It still allows me to build strength, and it does safeguard my shredded shoulders to a huge extent, where, you know, we have control, we set boundaries, we say yes, and, right? So we say yes, and the head is neutral. Beautiful. Right, so that's just one way. It's not the right way. It is one way, right? I don't want you to think that in any of these videos that, you know, I want you guys to do things my way. I want you to explore and play with these things, see how it feels in your body, and then make your own decisions for you. And that's why it's called a practice. Okay? So.